the life you're living isn't actually yours?
What if your beliefs, reactions, guilt, people-pleasing, even the way you handle conflict were inherited patterns that you didn't consciously choose for yourself?
Many adults believe they're free thinkers. So that's why in today's video, we're going to show you what it truly means to be a conscious adult.
So you can identify your own beliefs, your own voice, and your own life.
Grab a pen and let's begin.
Hey. Hey everyone, we're Jeff and Ellen, life and relationship coaches. In today's video, we're going to talk about where your patterns come from. You know, why many of us feel the responsibility of being the obedient, dutiful child.
So let's talk about these patterns. First, I think it's important to sort of understand that this isn't about attacking parents, putting parents down, and expecting perfection from parents.
Yeah, it's not throwing your parents under the bus.
But the reality is that we grow up learning about even our parenting style and what it means to be family and in relationship from our parents who learned it from our grandparents who learned it from their parents. And so we pass on all these traits. And I don't think my great-great-great-grandparents were consciously thinking about how to create the most self-actualized child.
No. And I think this topic really first came up when we decided that we're in this is not just a summer fling. This is like for realsies, right?
For real. I'm so glad we're for realsies.
For realsies. And because what it meant is like when we're co-creating a life together in partnership and moving towards parenthood, how do we raise a family?
Yeah.
How do we, what parts of me do I offer our relationship and what parts do you draw upon? Right. Yeah. And the only things I can draw upon is like, well, growing up, this is what we did. Right. And so, whether we consciously talked about it or we just acted it out, I was promoting the quote unquote culture that I grew up in.
Very much so. And well, actually, I'm just going to add to that a little bit because we go one of two ways. We either just do what we grew up in because that's what we know how to do. And we're like, hey, it worked for me and I didn't mind it. So that's what we'll do. Or sometimes the parts we did mind, we say, okay, I don't want to parent that way or I don't want to partner that way because that didn't work for me. Yeah. But it's still based around our limited life experience in our small nuclear family.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and it could be really simple things like, hey, how do you fry onions? Right. And I come with my way and you have your way, but then it can get more emotionally important, like how we deal with conflict. What is our belief systems about life and what happens
and
after
money and marriage and raising kids? What schools do they go to? What are we teaching them? Yeah. What is our value system that we want to raise them on? How do even discipline? What does discipline mean in our household? And how do we go about it? How do we handle arguments and conflict?
That's a lot.
Oh yeah. Sorry, did I just overload you?
It's a lot of stuff. So we almost are unconscious about how we bring them in. We just say, this is my belief system without actually taking time to think about what they are.
Right.
And so we come with preloaded.
That's it, yeah.
Like a software that's preloaded in our computer operating system.
I like that analogy.
Can we talk about what I come to this relationship with? Because I'm not sure if this is healthy or not. Right? That's sort of like we come just unconsciously, this is the operating system.
Right, because we like the ease of the familiarity. Mm-hmm. It's easier if I can just use what I come with. I can do a whole bunch more stuff because I don't have to actually think about all these other pieces. And so it's just easier for me if we use my operating system.
Yeah, and giving up your operating system and the way you do things, or me giving up my way of doing things, means that one of us has got it wrong.
Yeah, so then it's really easy to get into a competitive stance. Mm-hmm. And that's when things get challenging in a relationship. But also, we're not using the opportunity that's afforded to us in relationship, which really is, I think of it's kind of like a gift, a chance to uncover not only who am I, but who do I want to be? I get to decide, and I can change that at any point in my life. I'm not stuck being who I was raised to be. I'm free to become what serves me better today.
But I think what ends up happening is that we're just feeling so responsible to our parents.
Yes.
We're defending the team that we grew up on. And that's because we feel this duty, this obligation, because we don't want to harm our parents. We don't want to say, hey, they did unhealthy behaviors. We don't want to do that because we've pledged allegiance to that team long ago.
Well, that can feel really uncomfortable to me if I now start to see my parents differently. I don't want to sometimes know that my upbringing was anything less than good or great.
Yeah, and and sometimes it's difficult to take our parents off that kind of pedestal.
Yes.
Like, oh no, my parents are great. They have a great marriage. Everything's great, and let's not look. Let's not.
Yeah. It's like,
we don't want to know. My father was a great man, or my mom was a really great woman and a stronghold of the family. And then that's done. We can't talk anymore about it. We have to have one descriptor of the parent, and that's it. And we see this when we talk to clients many times, is that people go to great lengths to defend their parents, and by doing so, we only see the best parts of how we are raised.
mm-hmm.
And because of that, when we can't look at the maybe unhealthy side.
Right, the whole human picture.
Yeah, and I think that's good. We don't see our parents as humans. We see them as superheroes.
Yeah.
My immigrant father came to this country with nothing and built this business, and therefore you can't say anything.
Yeah.
Because he had a hard life,
right.
or he built something great, and now we can't, eke apart these pieces to say, here's where there's strengths that he was in relationship, but then here's the negative impacts that on me.
Right. We're not allowing ourselves to evolve that picture and that story into something else that serves better today, because they served the best they could where they're at that time. But life always is expanding and growing and evolving. And so today we want to take those pieces and say, let's keep the pieces that work, but what are the pieces that don't serve us anymore? So maybe let's talk a little bit about what we give up when we don't look at the patterns we come from. What is the impact? Like, I could say, well, what's the big deal if I don't look at the patterns I come from?
I mean, I could say we just end up being asleep at the wheel, which maybe people just like being asleep at the wheel, and maybe they just don't have a car crash, But I think what ends up happening is that there are car crashes. You actually drive into that pylon. And so we don't have to wait till a car crash for us to look at our life. And to, wipe the sleep out of my eyes, wake up and saying, okay, I'm awake. I'm not hiding away from this conversation. Right. I want to come to this conversation with you and listen to you. Like, yeah, Jeff, you're not all that great to be in relationship with sometimes. And you know how you think you're a great parent? Maybe not so much all the time.
Actually, as you say that, though, there's a great opportunity to stop taking the labels off of ourselves and to stop living under good girl, good boy, bad girl, bad boy constructs, and we're free to actually be a nuanced human that is ever evolving and changing, and so that we can look at in real time what we have going on, and we're free to shift something that no longer is working for us or working for our relationships.
But that's the challenge, is identifying, is my approach working for me? Is my approach working for us? And that takes a courageous individual to say, yeah, I don't think that's working for us. The joy that I thought was going to be here isn't happening. The happy relationship I want to have is actually not happening here. It's not actually existing. It's only in my fantasy. But that difference between my intention and the reality of what I'm creating is just not there. To say, I'd rather have health and be wrong and stay in relationship than be right and have you leave.
I'm so glad you did that.
Me too. We have a happy relationship because my ego isn't way out in front running the show.
Yeah.
Because what's the benefit of my ego or your ego leading the charge? It means that we're leading down unhealthy paths. We're like, we don't want to go here. This is just more competition, more conflict, more fighting about money, more fighting about food, more fighting about celebrate. We're just fighting about every topic.
Yeah.
Right? Because of ego. Well, my way, our way, well, my growing, my background, my childhood, my. It's actually really not really Jeff's world.
No, actually, it would be your grandparents, your great grandparents' world, created in a whole other time, place, with different circumstances, under a different mental condition.
Yeah.
That you're just repeating.
It's someone else's idea.
Someone else's idea, and now they had the fun of making it up.
I'm just carrying the flag now and going, this is my voice, but it wasn't really my voice. It's not really my choice.
But that means then you have to go to sleep in life, because we are naturally born to be present and with inspiration coming from in this moment that is needed for the reality that we're living in currently. And so when those inspirations come up, if you can't do something with them, but instead they're overridden by generations ago what their choices were, then we have to make those go dormant.
And that inside, over time, when we make that go dormant, you have life summoning, you have your own ideas, your own beliefs, your own thoughts coming up.
No wonder we have anxiety and depression.
Yeah, because there's so much internal conflict going on, because there's a part of you that recognizes, I have this idea of freedom, this idea of thinking for myself. But no, if I follow my joy, my thoughts, that's gonna, I might be leaving the team. That's gonna disappoint my mom.
Yeah,
I might celebrate differently.
Right.
I may have a different belief system.
Right.
And my mom's uncomfortableness is more important than my comfortableness.
Yeah.
So I'll go through life and I'll just hide my true nature. And we've had clients that when they're with us, they're open and free in their views, even in the food that they eat, but they're like, don't tell my mom that I'm eating this food.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You can't, why? Why can't you eat this food?
Oh, my mom will kill me if she knows that I just ate this food.
Yeah.
And
then this inner turmoil.
Yes, this inner turmoil, and that dormant voice is never fully dormant, and it starts knocking at your life's door saying, I'd like to come out. And so, and then it comes out wonky in all kinds of ways. It can come out with aggression. It can come out in other strange behaviors. It can come out as self-loathing. It can come out as depression and anxiety.
But I think an obvious one is that if I don't feel like I can be free, from my parents, but with you, because you're the new person, I can overpower you in saying, no, it's my way. I'm finally going to get to do things my way, and then I'm overpowering.
Yes.
Thinking that, I'm now a free being, but I'm not creating freedom here. I'm just creating more competition.
You're carrying
fighting
that generational
of
pain.
winning and losing.
Yeah.
Because I've been losing my whole life, never getting to be my way. And I hate losing, so I'm not losing with you, so I'm going to get my way. And my way, surprisingly enough, just is sort of like the same, it's the other side of the same coin from my childhood.
So one of the most important things we do in a relationship that creates health in a relationship is about differentiation. It's how do we honor our differences, and not differences even amongst each other, but even supporting each other in being different from the families we came from.
Yeah. So just to pick one topic like money, when you're with your partner is to ask you, like, I come from this belief system about money, that money is the root of all evil, that we shouldn't spend money, we don't show off money, we're thrifty, we use coupons, we could buy it here, but let's wait to the sale. And that's all my approach of being miserly with money. Is that healthy for us?
Yeah.
Right? And to ask you, like, this is my viewpoint on it. Can I get your feedback on this viewpoint? With your partner or with someone that you trust, this is how I approach money. What's your input? Can I get some feedback from you on this?
Right.
Is this healthy?
Is this healthy? Where did it come from? What else could it be? What are the other options we could adopt?
Yeah, because I could say, well, what's your viewpoint on money? Like, how do you see money and how we use it, keep it, save it, spend it? And then I hear from you. And between what you have and your maybe unconscious approach to money and my unconscious approach to money, maybe we can look at it like, oh, this is how we have differing views of money and how it plays a role in our life. What do we now want to do about money? What's a growth edge for us about money that feels like we're not moving to one extreme or another extreme? The pendulum doesn't have to swing far here, but how do we find in center and groundedness that works for you and I in our approach, so that we're not promoting more fighting competition?
And it can even be a belief system that isn't something extreme, but that you are looking at and saying, well, what do we know today? Maybe that I didn't know growing up and my family didn't know growing up. So what can we add to it? Maybe the core of it is good, but how do we evolve it? What else could we do? What are our options? And there's not only is that healthy because it expands our knowledge base and our sense of how the world operates, but when we do that journey together, we're actually building our connection, because it's sort of like you and me, against the world, and we're figuring out our world together. And then it also builds the strength and confidence in what we choose, because we didn't come by it all willy-nilly. We choose it. And the thing is, when we're making a choice, I think it's important to say is we can come forward and say, let's move forward in this direction. Let's try it. It doesn't mean we have to lock in and this is it, so we better choose wisely.
Yeah.
It's actually about living consciously means you choose something, but then you stay in open relationship with it and you evolve it as it needs to be evolved, and you make that process easy for yourselves.
Yeah.
Enjoyable even.
I agree, because some of the things that you'll influence me on my belief system may be different from my childhood, but maybe that's more ease. Maybe there's more joy there. And although it feels like an abandonment of self, to adopt something new, maybe I don't need that. I don't have to wear those old clothes. I don't have to have those old thoughts. I don't have to have those old belief systems. And it's not like a loss of identity. It's more of stepping into freedom. I can come into the light with less baggage, less holding me back. What are the few belief systems that guide me instead of like the 10 commandments of childhood that I have to keep carrying forward, that just don't serve me, never did serve me. It felt more like bondage and keeping me asleep and just promoting more dis-ease in my life. How can we lighten our load together?
Yeah, I love that. We even do that with our parenting. I remember we having conversations with our son about dinner table behavior and manners, and we went through some of the things we grew up in with, and everything had to make sense. So we said, okay, no feet and shoes on the table. And we're like, well, that makes sense, because your shoes, you're walking around outside, that carries bacteria and dirt. We eat on this surface. We don't want that on the table. Even certain posturing, because it communicates sort of a withdrawal or an arrogance when you put your feet up and you lean back. And so it feels disrespectful and non-engaging. We're like, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
But the one we always had trouble with was no elbows on the table. Remember we got that as kids? It's like, no elbows on the table and, no slouching. And we couldn't come up with a really good answer in our household for that. We were like, I don't know, I feel comfortable sitting this way, other than someone taught us there's a prim and proper way to sit, which we don't buy into. That does not serve us. So we're like, put your elbow on the table if you want.
Yeah. And to promote this conversation so that you can find the center point. You can well, I grew up with no elbows on the table, and you're saying, do we need to still do that? And for me to
Did that advance my life somehow? Did that no elbows on the table help me?
Is that important?
Yeah.
It may be important when I'm having a formal dinner. How many formal dinners are we going to have this lifetime?
I don't know if we've had any yet.
We haven't had one formal dinner since you and I have been together. So I don't know if the formality of meals is actually appropriate. if we are going to do a formal dinner one night somewhere, sure, we'll practice good manners that night. But how do we make the dining experience just more easy for everyone?
Yeah.
Less rules and restrictions.
And ultimately, whatever we pick, they have to make sense. And they have to make sense so that they help us in our connections and our relationships. There is a bona fide reason that we can name. But if you're sitting there going, I don't know why I do it, then maybe that one is put on pause, or those are the ones you put on the examination table and start to look at and move forward from there. So in the end, what's important to take away is our parents are our starting point. They did the best they could with the tools they had. But now we're at that front line and we get to choose what's right for us. And it doesn't mean we don't love our parents. We can still love our parents and choose to be different from what they taught us.
Yeah, it's like a springboard that we spring off of that into the new, the unfamiliar almost, so that we can find what is ours, keeping what is integral for who we are as unique new individuals, and letting go of the outdated, the expired, maybe the stuff that just didn't serve us from the beginning.
And that's how we stay happy and healthy and connected.
And free human beings.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
To free human beings. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this with anyone you think could use this information.
And also check out this next video to keep learning more about life and relationship advice.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Cheers.